All right, so thought I would do a video on deer fencing, what I've discovered works, what doesn't work, and hopefully this helps you out. So I'll show you what I've done so far and show you that this does not work. So if you're considering this, I wouldn't do it. You see, this is a 6.5 foot post, T-post. But by the time you knock it down into the ground, it's maybe 5.5 feet high. Yeah, about that. And I put like sort of like a heavy duty nylon rope that doesn't stretch. And I went around, and there's 100 T-posts going around this whole thing. And the bottom from the bottom is about maybe 10 to 12 inches off the ground. And what they do is they just go right underneath of that. You'd be surprised. They'll walk right through that fence. And I've watched a ton of videos, and people have different strategies. And I've seen like the type of fence where they have like a T-post and they have another one in front of it, and they have like one line here, and the deer have a problem with like depth perception. But from my experience, as you can see, this just happened like yesterday, where they just literally broke the rope and went right underneath of it. And so I put this log here, I don't know. But what I'm planning on doing is, I plan on putting a deer fence up today. I had to go out and get some 8-foot T-posts. As you can see them laying on the ground. I got them spread out all over the place. Got those from Tractor Supply for about $8 or $9, almost $9 a piece. After I already bought all these 6.5 footers. So now I have like, I don't know, 130 posts. T-posts. But what I did was I ordered a fence from a place called Critterfence. Now there's another company out there called Critterfence that also has it, but I decided to go with this company because they had like a special. But what I did was, I'll tell you, these cages here, if you can see, they're round. It's kind of hard to see, but what I was doing was I was planting trees, and then I would put these fences around it, and they work. The problem is that when your trees get big, you can't get these cages on and off unless you take the cages apart and do it. So like over here, these green giants that I have, they're too big. There's one right there. There's another one right there. I mean, that thing is like, I don't know, 15, 20 feet tall. But this little one here in front, you could put a cage around that one. And I have a whole bunch of stuff in the yard. You know, I got skip laurels and junipers and viburnums and forever goldies and all kinds of stuff. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep the deer out. And what I plan on doing is taking all these T-posts down, taking this whole fence down, and redoing it again. And some of this stuff, just FYI, these are boxwoods. The deer do not like them at all. They won't mess with them at all. So you don't even need to fence those if you have those in your yard. They won't even touch them. It's probably the most deer resistant thing in the yard. Let me pop in here. The front of the yard, as you can see, I did this fence all the way up, and it's on a hill. So I think it's kind of hard for them to come up the hill and then hop the fence. So the front isn't such a problem. It's the sides and the back for me. As you can see, I got a little cage around this. This is a U. There's a little one. And these are red beauties. Getting a little off track here. But anyway, trying to keep the deer off, and every winter they come through and pretty much eat everything, and what they don't eat they buck rub, which kind of makes you hate deer. So up here at the top of the property, go over here, I put these extensions on. I thought they would jump over because everybody says 8 foot is the height you gotta go. Since these T-posts are short, took PVC pipe, drilled a little hole at the top, and used these insulators. They sit right on top. This is 1.5-inch PVC pipe for an extension. And you can cut it really easy with miter saw, hacksaw. You can use a sawzall too if you get a fine blade. But anyway, as you can see over here, the deer broke this one too. I just break it, they just go right under it. So what I'm gonna do today is rip everything down and put the critter fence up. It's gonna be a lot of work. You can see here what I did was I cut, as I've been cleaning up the property, I cut down branches, and I have an auger, and I was putting these in the ground, and I was going around and putting rope, like string around from here to here, from each one. And but that's a lot of work too. I mean, you gotta cut down the tree, the augers, a lot of work. And when you have hundreds of trees, that's very labor intensive. So as you can see, I got these 8-footers spread out everywhere. Some here. As you can see, I had these little ones. Even the small ones, they don't last very long, a couple years, and then they rot out. So but little trees like this will definitely get buck rubbed. This one will get destroyed. As you can see, I got a lot of trees I'm trying to protect. And I've been putting these cages like this around. By the way, these aren't my tractors, these are my neighbor's tractors, who for some reason won't throw these things out. He leaves them right on the edge of the property. You see the property line. That's the little yellow one, and he keeps all his crap right here. Broken down tractors. Won't get rid of it. He keeps it here like I don't know what the hell he's keeping it for, but anyway. So on the back side of the property, what I started doing was I started taking these field fence cages apart. Hey, spider web. I just walked right through a spider web. Let me go this way. I took these field fence and I cut them and put them up against T-posts and used them up against trees. Like this, you can see right here. And I used 2 trees that were close to each other. This is my little doorway so I can get through. All I gotta do is move this stuff real quick. But I did string on the top and then the field fence on the bottom. This is the back side of the property where, as you can see, it's all woods, state land. So there's literally deer in my yard every single day, all day long. I mean, they're just everywhere. There's so many deer. They are like my nemesis. And so the goal is to put up a critter fence. And I'm not gonna do a video on putting it up. There's plenty of videos for that, but I'll show the after, and I'll do a little follow-up video and just see if it works. This is my little propagation. This is where I grow all my trees, so I don't have to buy all this stuff. I do cuttings. I start them in here, little box that I made. I know there's many ways to do this, but you can see something in there. Just I take a box with like a, you call that? It's like a screen that you would get for windows, like window screen, sliding door screens. But I get the heavy duty. And I do my cuttings in there, and that's how I do. So I don't have to water them really. There's some water in there, but the rain takes care of that. And then once they get going and they root, then I put them in these little individual. And once they get to a certain size, then I'll plant them. And then here I put them there in the winter, because if you don't put them in something in the winter, a lot of them won't make it. Especially the more fragile stuff like the skip laurels. They usually don't make it. All the other stuff does pretty well. Those green giants are super durable. Like, I mean, you could put them in a snowstorm and they seem to always bounce back. But anyway, all right, that's it.